Hustle strategy.
Bootstrap growth on margin scales.
Execution.
If they put you out of business, you'll have a lot more leverage.
Vertical stakeholder infrastructure.
Stocks.
Bonds.
Shorts.
Shorts.
Monetize anything that breathes.
I have become so physically hot that I will boil the ocean.
Collateral.
Welcome back to Collateral. I'm Wyatt DeMatthews.
And I'm Seth Teeth.
Today is going to be a good episode. Seth and I here are going to talk about scheduling, networking. Just it's going to be a real fun time.
Yeah, arguably most, if not all, of the important things you need in life, you know?
Yeah.
So buckle up, everybody. We're gonna get this thing started. We're gonna get this thing rolling.
I mean, first, you look a little different. Have you been trying something new?
Yeah, actually. I've been a little something different. I've been trying wigs for the first time.
You look a little swollen.
Swollen.
Mm-hmm. I think that wig.
So it has nothing to do with the wig is swollen.
No, I didn't notice the wig.
Okay. Well,
but your
that's
face
arguably
looks bigger.
Okay. My face
Just bigger.
looks bigger, like in my cheeks, in my forehead, my nose, or just everywhere.
Swollen. I'm surprised you don't know what I'm talking about.
I got stung by a bee yesterday, but that was like in my leg. I don't know if I'm still having a reaction to that.
That thing spread.
It spread.
Yep.
The infection, bee infection spread.
I mean, I've had a lot of run-ins with bees. They are not friendly. Let me tell you that. But there are a lot of bees.
They are volatile. That's just that it's in their nature, right? They see you and they want to attack you, and for no reason really. It's truly terrible.
It's you piss off a bee, then word gets around quick in the bee neighborhoods because
they tell all their friends, their cliques, their neighbors, their grandparents,
their aunts. I mean, it's just like you piss off one bee, that bee has a choice. The bee could sting you, sacrifice his life, and die for honor. Or he could tell his whole swarm, hey, you want to get that guy? Let's get him. They'll do it.
And that's honestly like the second option there. That's really just a
war.
That's the least honorable of the two.
That's war.
You'd rather die in battle, and go to Valhalla, be Valhalla, than gather your friends and go jump a person.
Yeah.
It really dumbs down to honor with these bees. And the bee that I got stung by in particular was an honorable bee. All right. I was, sitting in my lawn reading a good book. I was, I had a nice cup of iced tea next to me with a nice lemon on top. Sometimes I squeeze the lemon into the iced tea, pour a little packet of sugar in there, and you got a nice sweet tea.
I know you like your teas.
That's true. It's true. Some ice in there too, big cubes of ice.
Anyway,
this bee came over to me. He looked me right in the eye. He buzzed up right to my nose, maybe like a half an inch away from my face. And he was like, hey. And I was like, wow, I didn't know bees could talk. So I kind of was, I was sort of shocked. And then the bee was like, can I have some of your iced tea? And I was like, sure. I mean, it's going to cost you. I don't give these things out for free. And the bee was like, all right, how much? And I said, well, how much is one drop of honey in U.S. currency? And the bee said, I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
So he didn't know his price.
Yeah, so he went back to his little beehive and, grabbed his computer and he brought it out. And this bee was like, so basically one droplet of honey is 10 cents USD. And I was like, okay, do you have 10 cents? And the bee was like, no, I don't. I'm a bee.
So the bee had a computer and was looking at the exchange. What was that bee? Are you sure that was a bee? I mean, that sounds to me like.
I mean, if
maybe
it
a man
looks like a bee,
in a
buzzes
bee
like a bee. I mean, it was pretty small, man. It was like maybe an inch tall.
Oh, so that was.
It wasn't standing; it was flying. I mean, I haven't heard of a man an inch tall that could fly. And wearing black and yellow. So the bee comes up to me and he's like, "Yeah, let me get some of that iced tea. I got 1 drop of honey, which is 10 cents." And I was like, "Okay, do you have 10 cents? Because 1 drop of honey is nothing to me. That's worthless." And he was like, "No, I only have this honey." And I was like, "All right, no deal. I'm sorry. I can't do anything for you." And so the bee's like, "Okay."
Okay, again with the sounds.
Sounds.
I'm hearing stuff.
You're hearing.
Is that what is
What are
that?
you hearing?
Your accountant? What did you say it was last time?
My accountant. I don't have an. I do my own money, man.
Your cat. I hear a cat.
My cat.
Yeah. You said
You hear a cat.
Yeah. There it is again.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
said
man.
this last
Cat?
episode. You were putting your cats to work, like your manager. I don't even know.
I mean, I have my friend here, and he helps me with my whole setup. He gets all my cameras ready, all my microphones ready. His name is Oliver, my friend Oliver.
Well, I'm not hearing anything now, but
Well, yeah, he's shy. He's camera shy. Anyway, the bee proceeds to sting me in the knee, which is not a fun place to be stung. There's not a whole lot of fat there. It's just bone, and he just gets me in the bone, and my knee flares up. It enlarges 10 centimeters in every direction. My knee is huge. It's like a pulsing bubble of just skin and bone, and my bone expands too, which is disgusting, and it was not a pretty sight.
It's a bone expanding bee.
Yeah. I mean, hell, this bee could talk. There was something wrong with this bee, but I go to the doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this is normal. We've seen this before. We've actually had a few cases of this today." And I'm like, "All right, that's good. I'm glad it's not unheard of." And they take a needle and just stab my knee like 20 times, just continuously. They just keep stabbing and stabbing. And eventually the bubble pops like a balloon. And, it was really, my knee shatters like confetti. So my knee turned into a confetti balloon. And once it was,
all right,
popped,
I'm gonna
shattered.
stop you there. What the hell are you talking about? I don't believe this at all.
You don't? I can send you pictures of the bubble.
Maybe, I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, no, it was not pretty.
Yeah.
All in all, I got stung by a bee. That's why my face is swollen.
All right. Today I wanted to kind of talk about like getting to know people. Seth and I, we go to a lot of these networking events. It's how we meet so many of our connections.
All over the country.
Yeah. So we just kind of wanted to, recall some moments from there. I mean, there was this one time we were in New York.
Always in New York.
Always in New York.
Big networking spot there.
Yeah, just
networking's capital of the world.
The thing about New York is you don't really have to go anywhere to network. You can just stand out on the streets and just advertise yourself there.
Yeah, people will come up to you like, "Hey, what are you doing? What's up with you? Why do you look like that?
What are you selling? What's your deal?
What's your deal?"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were kind of on the street.
It's really
doing
beautiful.
That. We were doing that. It was kind of our homemade networking event.
Yeah. Eventually, we draw a crowd.
Yeah.
How like those breakdancing guys, in the middle of Times Square do. And we draw a crowd, and it forms a big circle. And here we have a sort of opportunity for, people who want to push an idea. And so, you have the chance to get into the middle of the circle and pitch your product or pitch who you are. And it really just opens up possibilities for others.
We had a guy, I don't even think he was an entrepreneur, but he came into the circle. He was kind of, forcefully pushed, really. He was in the circle, and me and Seth are standing overhead of him. We have these giant cubic boom boxes that we're standing on that just blast our voices through our microphones so that we are always the loudest voice, no matter who's in the circle.
Because they say he who has the loudest voice controls the audience.
He who has the loudest voice is right.
Yeah.
And so we let this guy. We give him, we give everybody a minute basically to.
Can't have too much time.
Yeah.
Don't want people rambling now.
This guy comes up, he says, well, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I have this idea for a magazine that would be helpful for, it would be like a children's magazine. It would help them learn, like, the alphabet. It would help them learn numbers, basic stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, we're like, okay, boring, next. And we just hear these pitches all day out in the middle of nowhere.
Give us something we haven't heard of before.
We're waiting for something new.
Yeah. And these, just as we're, starting to get a little annoyed at that nobody has brought anything.
Yeah.
These three men, each about 5'10" in height, in trench coats and top hats, get into the center. We haven't even seen them in the audience. They just show up. It's like they appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What were they selling?
One of them was saying how he was always having trouble. He was always unlucky with the women.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you could tell. Who wears a trench coat nowadays?
Yeah. And
it's the modern times. No one wears trench coats anymore.
And so, we were like, what? Tell us. Please, confess. This is basically a public confession.
Yeah, tell us your deepest, darkest secrets, your darkest desires, everything. We want to hear it, and we want to profit off of it.
And this guy, he was the middleman, the middle trench coat, steps up. He says, well, I've always been quite afraid. I never know what to say. I just get nervous. And the other guy, the one on the left, he says, well, he starts blabbering on about, you just have to get to know them just the way you got to know us and talk to them. He just goes on and on about this.
Yeah, we weren't interested in what the left
basic
guy had to say.
bull crap. But the right guy, he gives this other advice. He says,
and this guy was profound.
He comes up, he says, so what, you're saying you're scared? And the middle guy says, well, yeah, I guess so. He said, you know what would make you a lot scared, buddy? A lot less scared. A gun.
And when I heard those three letters, G-U-N, I had goosebumps.
Boom. It was perfect. Because
having something that is arguably scarier in a situation just on your person can help alleviate any other fear that your body naturally has.
What could you possibly be scared? It's like as soon as you have that weapon on you,
nothing can scare you.
Nothing can scare you, really.
Because you have a dangerous weapon on your person.
You are the scary. So anyway, after like 5 hours of this, the circle disperses and we set up at another city and rinse and repeat until we have about a lot of ideas.
Yeah. And we need at least 20 different new ideas, something fresh and something we've never heard of before at each city that we visit.
So New York, we got gun.
Yeah. Then we visited Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Chicago, we had, what was it? It was something so ethereal.
I think it was gun again. I feel like every major city was kind of just gun.
I mean, a lot of people came to vent their fears.
Yeah.
And the only natural thing to say then is obviously, have something scarier on your person.
Yeah.
Whether it be a gun or a dangerous animal, a dangerous rabid animal. Yeah. Just have that in your pocket, like a hamster, a rabid hamster. Just put that in your pocket. Ooh, we had the Sun Harnesser.
Yeah, I was about to say the Sun Harnesser was
came out of
good Philly.
One. Yeah, it was think a net. Think a big net, but reflective. You throw the net onto the grass, or any grass, anywhere. You throw the net onto any flat plane, and just sunlight just comes down on it, and you just tie up the bag or tie up the net, and you just tie it up tight. Then you take it back to your house and you put it in your sun harnesser receptacle. And you have power. You have energy. You know, all you need to do is just have this. What's that?
The focus beam.
Yeah. Yeah. All you need is just a net and the sun harnesser receptacle and a focus beam. And you have unlimited power.
That one, as soon as we heard that, we got on a flight to the nearest patent area, and we patented the shit out of that.
Yeah, we took this person's idea, and made it our own by just stealing it.
Pretty much.
And we're going to be releasing the sun harnesser in the next coming months. We're still in the beta testing phases, but it's coming out. And
it's coming
free power for all, free energy for all, but you got to pay for it. You can't eat the sun harnesser is not free.
It's another one of those monthly things.
Yeah, what did we price it at? $5,000 a month.
Yeah, but we're talking.
It was
power,
$5,000 a week.
So that's a pretty.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's not. It's a hefty price.
We're talking actual power.
Yeah, we're gonna sell you all. We're selling you power.
We are,
and we didn't even come up with it. We're like, who was that guy that invented the light bulb but took the idea from the other guy? What was his name?
If I know, I mean, we have light. Good enough.
That's
for
all
me.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know who invented it, but we're going to be remembered.
The names of people who invented things. You just know that you have them.
We're going to be because we're inventing something so extraordinary, we're going to be known as the guys who invented the sun harnesser and unlimited power. We'll be remembered. We're going to have plaques everywhere in every school, every university, every government facility. We're going to have plaques that say
by the sun harnesser.
The sun harnesser, yeah.
Yeah, plaques. Plaques, I think, are coming back.
Yeah, they're making a comeback now in, whatever year this is.
Thank God. I mean, there was a good, 20, 30 years where they stopped making plaques. And,
yeah, I've missed them.
Yeah. I'm glad to see plaques. I mean, having your own plaque is, that's no small feat.
Having a plaque is really just a universally just humble experience.
I think the reason why they took the plaque hiatus was because they were just making plaques left and right. Everyone could get a plaque. It was like you didn't have to do anything. Now
exactly, they're handing out plaques for like
saving
first
a cat
step
from a
in
tree.
This building.
Yeah, come on.
First fire fought. Like we don't need stuff like that. We need plaques for like
us.
Most trash
burned
ever. Burned. Oh,
most
God,
trash.
They should burn more trash. They need to burn. They need to start burning more trash. What are they going to do with all that trash, huh?
Yeah.
Bury it. Throw it in the ocean. No.
Burn it.
Burn it. Throw it in a sun burner. It's just a big pit, a big metallic pit.
That's kind of
just harnesses the sun, and just.
That is what
burns the trash.
We are. That is the kind of the 2.0 idea.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff with the sun. The sun has unlimited potential.
We are. The sun is.
And
I don't know why people didn't think of this early. I mean, it's like, it's there. You could use it.
It's free.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going anywhere except at night.
Yeah.
But even then, the sun is still out.
When the sun goes somewhere, we just follow it. We're like the anti-vampires.
Yeah, we have a big car that we have a GPS set to the sun.
Yeah.
So no matter where the sun goes, our car follows it because the car is also remotely controlled.
Our car is basically going at the speed of the Earth rotating, but in the opposite direction. So it's always
because we want to track the sun.
Same time of day. Yeah.
If we lose it, we lose so much money.
We do.
If we lose the sun for just one day, we lose millions of dollars.
Our whole operation will shut down.
Yeah. I mean, we have like 20 other operations, but this one is our top seller.
We have to go shortly after this because we're behind. But yeah, we chase that sun.
And sometimes that's all you can do,
Yeah.
We don't sleep because there's never night.
No.
We're always after that sun.
Yeah, that's why
it's always day.
And my roommate the one who was a vampire.
Vampire roommate, right?
He is not happy about this.
No,
So
no. I mean, I wouldn't be either if
we
I was a
pretty much
vampire.
cut all ties with him. Luckily,
Yeah, it was probably for the best. I mean, he tried
after
to,
the
eat
steak
you and all
thing
that.
was anyway.
Yeah,
it was,
after you killed him.
Yeah, we cut all ties with him after we killed him, basically.
Yeah,
Which
I mean, you kind of have to at that point.
at that
Makes
point,
sense too.
yeah, when he's dead,
Yeah, you got to just cut all ties. You just got to cut him off.
which is
Ghost him.
Yeah, it's a
Ironic,
skill.
'cause,
Yeah, it's a skill. Cutting
it's a
all
skill
ties.
to cut people off.
Yeah,
And just
I mean,
it's
our car is cutting people off all the time. It's going off road. It's going through the ocean because
I mean, it's going thousands of miles per hour.
yeah, we have to.
We got to
cut
follow.
people
We got
off.
to.
It's safer.
I mean,
if we cut people.
What other
off.
choice do we have?
If we go through you, you will die.
If we hit a ramp, boy, you'll expect us to fly
Yeah,
because we do. We
We're
fly
on
high,
exit
tens of thousands of
velocity.
feet in the air.
Yeah,
When we drive normally, it's like we're driving in slow motion just because we're so used to this car
whipping.
going thousands of miles per hour
Yeah.
and cutting people off. So we kind of have to relearn, road safety and etiquette and all that.
And people try to get mad at us. By the time we've cut you off, and by the time you realize you've been cut off, we are gone.
We're
at
gone.
the horizon.
It's like a whoosh.
Yeah. What was that?
The Flash, like the superhero?
Yeah.
Well, it's not as fast as that, but, people are like,
think
what
it
was
is.
that?
I think it might be faster than the Flash.
All right. You know what? Yeah, I think he's
He's
not
not that fast.
I
He
mean,
just thinks he's fast.
he doesn't harness the sun
No,
to go fast. He uses what?
the speed.
The Speed Force?
Okay, that sounds.
I've never
made
heard
up.
of the Speed Force.
The
That sounds
Speed-
so dull.
Oh, I'm about to eat
So stupid.
lunch using the Eat Force. Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds
Yeah.
dumb.
yeah. The Eat Force.
I'm about to swim using the Water Force.
Keep going with these. These are good.
That's all I had.
All right. Well, this has been Collateral. This was a
This was a great episode.
this was our best one yet.
Yeah.
And it can only get better from here. So come back next week, next Friday. We'll see you then. I got stung by a bee, but we're healing. The infection is still spreading. All right. Well, you said my face was swollen.
Yeah, I think that was just someone punched you. I'm lying about it. I didn't want to be too. I was trying to be subtle, but I guess we're bringing it out now.
You know what? Yeah. Someone punched me.
Probably for cutting them off.